Hi, this is James with Bitcoin News today on the 16th of November 2018. In today's episode, I'm going to be looking at some comments from Dan Morehead, the CEO of Pantera Capital, one of the first Bitcoin funds that was launched for institutional investors, and also to check whether the Bitcoin price has dipped below that all-time support and what that means for the Bitcoin price going forward. Currently on the bitbonkers.com website, we can see the current live Bitcoin transactions as they are happening. It doesn't look at the moment like it is a very busy time for Bitcoin transactions. It's currently 5:44 p.m. in the UK while I'm making this video. But there are a couple of big ones there, 119 Bitcoin, that transaction, and 362 Bitcoin. So there are some huge transactions happening. That was a 39 and 27. Fascinating website to have a look at anyway. So let's go on to the Bitcoin price and just check on the all-time support line. I very carefully went through and I marked a couple of points here. There basically is a couple of touch points. Around about the 21st of November 2011 is one touch point just here, and the other is on the 20th of March 2017, which is around about here. So those are the two dates where this all-time support line was touched, and that then allows us to zoom in on the 1 hour chart and see what's happening recently. So you can see that the Bitcoin price did in fact dip below the all-time support line, and it went even further to $5,200, where we got a double pipe pattern, and that is a good bullish signal. So possibly Bitcoin did find its bottom there at $5,200, which is great news, and then we have seen a bounce upwards. Now I did plot I plotted this all-time support line as accurately as possible, but it is possible that there is some error in my plotting, and maybe that line should be further down, but we'll see what happens in the next few days. So according to my estimation, we are currently below the all-time support line, and the RSI level did get extremely low. Let's go back to the 1 day chart and look at that. So the RSI level did drop to the lowest it's really ever been at about 17 or 18, but since then it's actually dropped further to approximately 16 or 17, so extremely low RSI, and that's a fantastic signal. Most institutional investors do look at the daily RSI level, the relative strength index, and when it is so low, it is a sign to buy that particular asset. So it could be a very good time to buy Bitcoin at the moment, one of the lowest prices we have seen in absolutely years. And we can see what happens in the next few days as to whether the price gets back up above that all-time support line. So it's still a matter of wait and see, but there are some really good interesting comments from Dan Morehead, the CEO of Pantera Capital, who did this interview for BNN Bloomberg CA. And the comments that I picked out of this interview were basically that today Bitcoin is fantastic for cross-border currency transfers, such as for people who are living in the UK or the USA who are from abroad, maybe from Africa or other countries, and they can use Bitcoin today to send funds back home at virtually no cost, and it is nearly instantaneous. And Dan Morehead said that if you are in the USA and you want to send funds to the UK, it's actually quicker to do it by withdrawing the cash, putting it into a suitcase and flying from the USA to the UK to pay it to your recipient. So Bitcoin solves the problem today of transferring amounts of money internationally across borders. So he says that's the best case use for it today, but in the future, maybe 5 or 10 years down the line, it will be used for everything such as buying a cup of coffee. Now, another interesting stock to check is NVIDIA, who produce the graphics cards, because something interesting has happened with their stock as the Bitcoin price has fallen since the 1st of October. The NVIDIA share price has dropped and it's currently at a very low point, and there was a massive gap. So this gap occurred between 15th of November yesterday and opening of the markets today on the 16th of November. Let's measure that drop. It was approximately a 13% gap. So what we find usually in stocks is that whenever there is a gap, for example, it looks like there's a small gap there, the gap does get filled quite quickly. Another gap here, that got filled quite quickly as well. There is actually a gap up here that hasn't got filled. So NVIDIA could be a good stock to buy. The RSI level for NVIDIA is also very low at the moment. So if that gap gets filled, there is an approximate gain of, let's see, 14% for that gap and 33% for the gap above it. So definitely watch this NVIDIA stock, looking for a break of at least above 173 approximately to indicate that the price is going back up. And probably when we see the Bitcoin price going back up, then that will help the NVIDIA price to go up as well. So that's it for today. If you appreciated the video, give it a like, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and check out this video as well that I'm sure you will love. See you again soon. Bye for now.